For those that are wondering why it is that it's all finishing now, not that question hasn't come up, but I suspect that it's out there. And why it is that at this juncture it is all culminating. The reason for that is that, as I was shown, there is a wave coming through. It is a specific wave in the universe, which is a part of the dissolution of illusions. It's a part of what is undoing all of this co-opting, synthetic rape, as a good friend of mine called it, which couldn't be better. And I thank her for that. I don't know if she wants her name out, but this is entirely, that is the best name for it, the synthetic rape. So the time is short, and I know that a lot of people really, truly, genuinely want to cling to the positive aspects because they're there, but at the expense of denying what's coming in. And if you're not prepared, and if you're caught unaware, this is the whole point why we're doing everything. You are not going to be prepared for what is coming and what you will be witnessing. This is a huge, huge warning. It is not fear-mongering. It is not fear porn. The governments know what's coming, and they are already set up. The Illuminati, the Illuminated are already set up. The underground
base network,
which is
they've been expanding that for decades now, and there is a black budget to funnel so much funds into those projects, because that is priority for them. Is they are looking ahead, they have planned ahead, and they know that through previous cycles they have the mystery knowledge of the celestial aspects of what's going to be coming through, and also the harvester mechanisms and how they operate. Even these reptilian and Draco forces are scrambling because there is a bigger predator than them that they fear, and they are trying to set up their sanctity. Exactly.
Not only that, but we are in a completely different location, by the way, of the universe. We are, for those that don't realize this, the planetary systems that are new in our, quote, galaxy, in the fishbowl terrarium, they are already here. For those that don't realize that the second sun has always been here, functioning, and it's coming forward. It's already here. So the new planetary system is here. It's being hidden. The second sun is coming out. These things are here now. Now. It's not a thing that's happening in the future.
The actual wormwood star enters through a portal
into the fishbowl.
Yes. So
through the glass.
Through the looking glass.
Yeah, the looking glass. The looking glass is the terrarium dome. That's the looking glass. The looking glass is sealed in, keeping the sea, the ocean, outside. Outside the looking glass, outside the dome is water. The universe, the void. It's water.
Yeah, and I'm sure there are many which are laughing at that statement, and that's fine, because we anticipate that too. And let me just say that people are going to be so shocked at what enters here in the twinkling of an eye, and enters like a thief in the night, because that's exactly how, when this celestial object enters, it's going to be just like that. It's going to be
yeah, in a twinkling of an eye. And at that point I will have revealed all of the prophetic cites the prophetic information that I was given upon waking and prior to coming in and being birthed here. I want to discuss there are various teams that came in to deal with this at this juncture because of the fact that the majority of the planet would like to cling to denial, and they want to continue sleeping. They want to actually think that this is going to continue. I want to discuss that I was shown the second Earth, and that this is these are all things that I was shown prior to being birthed.
Yeah.
A lot of what we're putting out is we're trying to do this in sections so that it's not a big, huge shock.
Yeah.
The
We don't want to
reality-
overwhelm anyone.
To do this.
Well, really, the thing is that for many of you, the disclosures have been, and the drip feeding releases, even in the mainstream media, and what they've been showing you in all forms of media, have been occurring for years now. So they were meant to be inspiring the masses back then to be looking deeper into these aspects. So if you've just come in now, and I'm speaking to the adults here, if you've just come in now, you know, you've got a lot to catch up on. And look, at the end of the day, you're all free to your choices. We're not pushing anyone into anything. Okay, we just want to plant seeds, and
give the information that has been revealed.
Well, yeah, because we don't feel it's been given to us for no reason. It wasn't just for us to hold and to be selfish with it. We felt very, very prompted to share to the masses, and this is why we have avenues like YouTube and other media platforms in this day and age, so that messages such as this can reach large audiences and also reach those who it is meant for to come across. And if you are listening to this message right now, I can assure you it is not an accident. You are meant to be listening to it. You are meant to be absorbing the frequency and the language and everything that's meant to be carried over with that.
The consciousness that I came in with, which revealed everything from the beginning to the end, it was shown to me. So when I was born in the body of a baby, that was this body, I wasn't a baby. I was
More illusions, right?
I was that consciousness trapped in the body of the baby, and I had to go through the evolutionary stages of development as per humans here, which was pretty horrifying, actually. The whole nature of reality here being laced in fractal reality, hologram, psi overtaking, interfacing, is anything but real. So it was really alarming to me to even be here. It was alarming to me.
Well, it would have been very alien to the place that you remembered where you came from in origin.
Yeah.
No
And to
doubt.
even agree to do this.
In fact, if I recall you telling me that you realized that there was a very real chance of you being lost.
Of all of us, the team. Yeah. That the risk was that we would be lost.
Yeah.
And I don't mean death, dying, body dying. I don't mean I mean
Your essence.
your essence deleted. And that's what we were looking at, which was absolutely, utterly horrifying. And the fact that we had agreed to do this, and we all came from different universes, by the way. We all came from different capacities of what we could do and hold. The fact that we agreed to do this is massive, and I don't even know I don't know how to explain this.
And he who sent you to do that.
So the fact that this is what it is taking at this juncture tells a story about where we're at in the conjunctions of the events horizons, because this is no laughing matter, and this is the whole point of this, is to equip people consciously, to choose consciously, to be awake, to start thinking. Although everything is a frequency, and this reality is it's based on a hologram that is artificial, and it is. And I was discussing how these bodies are the projections, the emanations of the actual template of organic body being that are somewhere else with the real Earth. We are actually the duplicate body. So these are not our real bodies.
And then through the clones, that's like an attempted duplicate of the duplicate.
And the clones are an attempt to duplicate the duplicate, but it's actually a clone off of the duplicate. So,
yep. And as it's already been reported by other whistleblowers when this matters, these clone bodies they have a limited shelf life. It's nowhere near at the level of
the
functionality as we are in this body.
Yeah, the duplicates are the next best thing to the actual organic vehicle that is in stasis somewhere else, that is actually emitting the frequencies to generate this hologram.
And a big part of setting up those clones, well, not only for operational reasons, but it's also to try and neutralize those incarnates who came in with great potential, because what they do is through the trauma-based mind control and the programmed alters, what they hope to do, these negative operators, is what they're aiming for is that the programmed alter and all the traumas which are inflicted while the soul is within the clone body, they're hoping that carries over into the 3D. So for example, if they traumatize you through sodomy in a clone, and they will want you to, well, not only be homosexual or bisexual even in that altar, because it's all about inversion and inversion programs. What they have inlaid in the clone body, they will want that to translate onto the 3D body. So if you are an assassin in the clone body, they will want you to be full of rage in the 3D and basically have your life or have you on a path of self-destruction and drugs.
Well, they will set you up for that.
Yeah, and to be dependent on medications. So if you fracture and damage the mind enough, and you are put through all the rigors of that trauma, and then you are not strong enough and integrated enough to deal with that, then more than likely you are going to make more agreements of entrapment in the 3D life, such as taking drugs.
But however,
in one way, shape or form. And
setup,
it's a spiral.
The setup
becomes a negative spiral.
The setup that they would do in the 3D is that, number one, everything here is a setup. So when you are incarnated here, it is a setup immediately. It doesn't matter what. You are already set up for the, quote, holographic simulation that you're going to be living. So...
And the storyline?
And the storyline.
Yeah.
So that's all set up. It's artificial, folks. None of it's real.
Yeah.
Therefore, they're going to set you up in a way that you're going to actually be triggered the most in programming to make you the most operational on whatever level you're being used in.
Yeah. And this is why we emphasize the term not to be overcome by this world system. Because it is a trauma system and is all built around trauma, and we are not meant to focus on that state of I'm a victim and woe is me. Okay, we're meant to override that and hold to the spiritual values, not the flesh values and the flesh conditions which feel subject, to all that pain. Okay, we're not meant to be married to that.
No, and we're meant to be able to have a balance, and this is key. Okay, one of the symbolisms is a star. Now, interestingly, the star is representative of the spiritual, the emotional, physical, social, and mental. So, the purpose of the 3D reality is for all of us to balance all of those together. If any of those things are imbalanced or out of balance, then you are not transmuting what you need to.
You're in a state of disharmony.
And that is what they want. So the more people can comprehend that they need to balance the star system, which is the spiritual, emotional, physical, social, and the mental. And so doing the seeking within oneself to comprehend where the deficiencies come from in the star balance.
Yeah.
And that star balance is what will harmonize you so that you can actually hear your spirit. If that star balance is not balanced, you will not hear your spirit. And in fact, the technology that is operational now is to prevent you from being able to contact the source creation and creator. So, or your spirit. The technology that is operating now is literally decoding how you communicate with your spirit, how you communicate with source creator, how you communicate with the void, how you communicate with the comprehension that everything is a frequency. The technology today is operationally preventing you from being able to connect. And that's why people are experiencing this horrible panic and feeling that they are not connecting to source and that they're not connecting to their spirit. This is psi mind technology that is everywhere. And this is also what the chemtrails are doing. For those that don't realize what the chemtrails are and why they're pervasive, this is a part of the psi interface with...
Well, it's merging you to the machine.
It's absolutely designed to merge you with the machine, along with everything that your body's being pummeled with, nanos and super nanos and plasma nanos, you know.
And the machine is the harvester. The Lord of the harvest is the AI machine.
Yes.
And if you are not paying attention to all these Hollywood blockbusters, they have actually already shown you what's going to be coming through.
So when I was 5 years old, 4 or 5 years old, the first time I saw a grid literally in the whole entire sky, and I thought everybody could see it. And I couldn't stop seeing the grid. This happened on and off for quite a long time. So I witnessed the grid over the entire sky. Literally, it's a grid. It looks like a grid. It's gray, and it's a technology. And the first time I saw that, I was 4 or 5 years old. And I repeatedly witnessed this grid. And it was 3D current in my vision for a long time, emanating a frequency. This grid is associated with the technology that locks people into the mind prison. And it's all about the mind prison. It's all about psi technology interface with plasma. This reality is based on a binary electromagnetic universe. And it is the conjunction of it is a two-sun conjunction universe. So it is designed, and it will fire things up. The coming of the second sun has a lot to do with increasing the heat of the planet, increasing the core's heat, destabilization. We can get into that at another one.
Well, when you look at the sun, where as I remember it in the 80s, 90s, it was much more yellow. Now it's white. It's like I reference it as like a lamp, which has been, the dial's been turned up on it.
Yeah.
And the lamp is now glowing.
It's
hotter.
a lot hotter.
and it's therefore wider
Yeah.
to represent that, and it is ineffective, and it is interacting with the core.
Absolutely, in
And,
the core of us. So it's interacting core.
As above, so below.
Exactly.
As within, so without.
So it's based, and this technology, this interface, this mind-side technology interface is based on the grid system completely, just as I saw when I was little. This is actually connecting with, this is a part of what DARPA and Skynet and cloud technologies, this is what this is. It's hijacking the human mind. And creating a prison that is even more solidified than ever. And this is what is so alarming. That is the reason why the harvester will be able to effectively take over the entire mindscape of humanity if we don't
resist
and
build up the spiritual fortitude, as mentioned in our chaos magic video. Because the chaos will be increasing, and you do need that spiritual fort around you,
and the compass, the moral compass, and the connection, the real connection to your spirit and to the ultimate creation frequency. This is biotech. This biotech technology has been in existence for thousands of years and hundreds of cycles. This has been in existence, in fact, in the time when the Gnostics were writing what they were not writing. And that is what did them in. This technology was also interfacing with the Gnostics at that time. This is the Epic of Gilgamesh. For those of you who have read the Epic of Gilgamesh, this is the same technology. This is the technology that is the Anunnaki technology alongside the reptilian and the fallen Drak and the archontic, parasitic, psychic, Wetiko virus combined. And this is what is hijacking the entire world currently at this bio takeover of technology. So this form of imprisonment is actually the form of imprisonment that is designed to take your essence, which is far different than anything that has been or happened in the past.
No.
Which was a recycle system, reincarnation system, where you would just be reborn over and over again.
Yep. And it is really important to emphasize that what NASA is presenting and what they have presented to you for decades, and what DARPA has been presenting to the public in the scope of their public scale of operations, is an absolute joke. And all they are is a cover for the real programs which are classified. NASA is a military organization. They are not.
Absolutely.
And if you know about anything about military, it is all about their classified structure, so that they will not let you know anything that they deem sensitive to national security. But really, that's all just a guise all in itself. And for the game, because a lot of these nations and their leaders are actually in cohorts. And I can assure you that all these so-called warring leaders are the best of friends, and they are all initiates of the secret societies. And all this apparent adversarial and critical criticisms against each other behind closed doors, they are laughing their asses off.
They're best friends
at all of you.
This whole thing that Russia is the threat,
Charades.
the China, are you kidding me? This is like
That's the stage.
They are in bed together, all of them. It's the same thing. Apple is Microsoft, okay? Same thing. Y'all need to open your eyes. Like, you need to see what's really here. What's happening.
Well, it's like even when you just walk through the supermarket shelves and then you see all these different brandings and they all contain the same poisons.
Well, Western family or, it's all the same.
Well, yeah.
All of it. Russia and the United States, best friends. This has all been, all these wars that have been generated are basically to harvest humans. And the name of the game is harvesting humans to generate all the technology to create this. This is what it's about. Harvesting humans on multiple levels as a resource, including biogenetics for the universal trade system. So this is all a harvesting. How even on the level of food, they've been able to co-opt both.
Well, the illusion of separatism, but really when you do your research you find out that these corporate heads just change all the labels and create sub companies and to the parent companies, and then it really becomes like the octopus, and really this is it's very akin to the AI. Okay, it is an octopus structure, and eventually its aim is to entangle humanity in all its poisonous illusions. And really you guys have the choice, what you want to adhere to, what you want to partake in, and
voting,
all of it, the whole chessboard. If you want to play chess with them, you can play chess with them, and we're not gonna fault you for it. It's just we say live and let live in all of this. And if you guys want to see us as enemies or antichrists, because we do anticipate that, and in fact we've actually been shown that we're going to be viewed as antichrists because we are going against the chessboard programs, and that is against the uni one mind institutions to the religious institutions. And you know what, we know we're vastly outnumbered because most of the people are within the chessboard. And you know what? They're just
checkmate.
They're just
checkmate reality.
And they're comfortable in that. And you know what? Like I say, if you are comfortable in that, we don't want to judge anyone, for that. It is what it is, and we've already been shown, that it is going to be a great deception. Most people are going to play into it. However, we're just doing what we feel inspired and nudged to do. And we're hoping that just does nudge those who this message is meant for, and really, it is just going to play out how it's meant to play out, and we can be philosophical about that.
It is the greatest seduction because it is the literal takeover of your mind, and that's the purpose of all of these technologies: cloud, Skynet, DARPA, internet, everything that you have. Every aspect of technology in this reality is to interface and take over your entire being, so that it is the emergence between the machine god beast head and the body, and so that the machine is creating a body for itself out of our organic being merging with our consciousness. This is what it's about. Now, the chemtrails serve multiple purposes in creating all of this and creating the plasmatic field for the psi interface of our minds. The particles that are required in order to psi control humanity are necessary to be literally spread throughout the sky in a net web system. This is what is generating the interface between our consciousness, our mind, hijacking us. So a part of what they're doing is creating that so that they can fully invade and attach themselves to us, just like the machine wants to attach itself to us in a full in a full way so that the machine can generate its own body using our organics and take over our psi ability, our mind.
And people have been conditioned over many years, and when we even look at the advent of mobile technologies and how slowly that's becoming more and more personalized to the point of where they want us to integrate it onto our being, and it, you know, from cell phones to devices which you're going to be wearing on your person, which we're seeing now, and eventually they are going to be
RFID chips.
Yeah, exactly. That's the ultimate conditioning, is when you will accept it within your body.
Yeah, now I actually wanted to talk about that after the RFID chips, because of the things that I've been shown with regards to how they're going to be able to incorporate that. Because up until now, they're having to use the RFID chips on babies, on children, on animals, just to acclimate people to accepting them under the guise of helping. So if your child is kidnapped, they'll be able to
lost children,
right? But in fact,
even for security within workplaces, some companies are already adopting that.
And this is all just setting up the climate, because what's going to happen is, with this series of catastrophes that are to come, there's going to be a shortage of food. And when there's a shortage of food, what's going to happen is they're going to be relocating people out of societies into these set-up societies. And these new communities that our government set up to support life,
the flesh. Yeah.
They are, this is going to be like an exodus of people from just normal community life being set up in these government, support life communities, zones. When the food shortage is going to come up, this is when the RFID chip is going to be accepted by people, because unless you get it...
Well, let's not just call it an RFID. It's going to be, just for lack of it, it's going to be an RFID on steroids. Yeah. And it's going to be incorporating...
And then people will accept it, because if they want to eat, if they want to have access to the food, they have to have it. Most of the food that will be generated still at that point in time is going to be bought up by the illuminated, by the elite. Therefore, what's going to be left is going to be a reserve, and the reserve is only going to be, quote, for those that accept the...
Yeah, just more agreements of entrapment.
Right.
And, that's the ultimate agreement of entrapment, because as we mentioned in the first... in the Chaos Magic video, that will represent a full essence, soul essence takeover, and
exactly.
you will basically be like the living dead, will basically just like a computer.
Well,
at that point, programmable and
absolutely. To get there, though, the chemtrails are performing. I guess you would call it the
terraforming.
The terraforming. They're terraforming the entire planet, or the entire terrarium, fishbowl, whatever you want to call it.
Well, it's still a planet.
It's still a planet.
ET plan.
Yeah.
T-plane.
So...
in the spelling as well.
They need an atmosphere that will support electromagnetic waves and ground-based electromagnetic field oscillations. They need ionospheric heaters in order to do what they intend. The particulates...
well, it's also terraforming, because the entities which are going to be surfacing, they need the conditions ripe for them to be able to...
But this terraforming is to lock into our minds, to control our literal minds, and to take over consciousness and the body. So this is the particulates that are being spread throughout the skies.
Well, I guess I'm referencing also the radiation releases, which will be a part of reality at that point, and it gains me no pleasure to reveal that, but they will be deliberately setting off reactors, and
absolutely. But there will be wars, quote. But this is a different aspect of it. So the particulates, which are directed energy weapons, will make them work better. The particulates are going to make all of this technology, psi interface technology, mind takeover technology, work better, which requires a density, it's a particle density that needs to merge with our stream. And this is why it's going to be associated with the plasma beam propagation ejection systems. And that is connected with what we emit in plasma consciousness. This is why they are terraforming the skies for this cloud Skynet technology. And it's a decoder as well. This decodes literally everything that you think. And that's why it can create a block to how you are able to communicate outside of the prison fractal matrix containment. So this is all what's going on. It's a desire to block literally your meta being and your meta communication to the supreme source of the all spark.
And basically replace your frequency with the frequency of it.
Yeah, and I mean, ionizing the air isn't enough. Ionizing the air is not a technology where they can utilize it to interface with everything that we are in frequency. This is the reason why these particulates have to be spread and in a density so that it can interface with technology the way it needs to.
Yep, and they've been placing the cell towers again through agreements of entrapment, because the more that people, it's all interactive, the more that people have taken to mobile phone technology, the more power through agreement and compliance that they can therefore say, all right, well, there is demand for us here to build this network of cell towers and then form grids, which are now essentially worldwide.
Yeah, and what's occurring is
because it does require permissions.
Everything requires permissions. Yeah.
And whether it's agreements which are direct or implied.
And so what we're seeing is a deterioration of the breaking down of everything, which is the whole binary system glitching.
Yeah, definitely big glitches.
The entire magnetosphere is also, it doesn't have the capacity it used to have. In the past, we would be able to deflect a lot of energies, but because we're being overcome by these other energies that are taking over the organic psi being that we are, the magnetosphere is also being pummeled as it dissolves for this takeover of, what this metal god, this beast mind,
Yeah, I guess you called it the Leviathan.
The Leviathan.
In your earlier blogs.
Because it is a Leviathan. This is like, the big
mama.
The big mama.
Yeah, and all the little babies. And we're both been shown and had revelation of what that's going to look like.
Yeah. And ultimately,
anyway, we will be. This is the thing. There's so much much scope, and we've had so many experiences over years of revelation. We have to fight the feelings of being overwhelmed because, in knowing how to present such
information.
Yeah, a vault of.
Yeah.
Of
a repository, a universal repository that we were given.
Yeah, this will form part of a series of disclosures.
We want to look into the projects a little more as well. I want to talk about the Montauk girls. There were Montauk girls, and it was actually a very essential part of how their time projects technology were able to get as far as they did. So we'll be looking deeper into the Montauk girls and bringing information out about that, as far as what I recall in my memory since I was a child. I remember being involved in that since I was really young, actually. By the time I was 13, I was fully embedded completely in that project.
And yeah, just on that note, I guess seeing as we were already outed in a sense in Org Tellers' interview with Lisa Harrison, we may as well confirm that yes, we are attached to the Project Pegasus projects and their associated sub-projects through DARPA. And so we were going to come out with that in time, but that's okay. Might as well confirm it now, that yes, we are involved in those, and we will be going a little bit more in detail with our experiences within that arena.
There's a lot to say. Yeah.
No doubt.
So we, the bottom line is that we are being held hostage here in this reality realm of the infinity systems, the labyrinth of the Ouroboros. We are being held hostage in high treason. The forces in operation here that have hijacked and co-opted all of our consciousness, they have completely and utterly gone outside of any law within existence. This is so far beyond anything that the universe and the multiverse has seen, that it is a shocking thing what's going on here. And if everybody doesn't comprehend that we are literally held hostage within high treason, and it is utterly illegal, and
well, that's the thing.
Bottom line is,
yeah, they've tried to bypass the law, and in ways they have successfully done that.
Absolutely.
But in other ways, they have essentially tried to cheat in their workarounds, and those cheats will not be valid.
Not ultimately, but we need to step into our sovereignty. And I am sovereign, and this is my universe. And it is my universe. So I am sovereign.
Yep, and those so-called cheats will actually only work against them for their folly.
And as sovereign, this is the aspect that I want to focus on for all of us, that we are all in need of that comprehension and stepping into our power of that which we really are in being, in all that sovereignty prior to any co-opting, and after, it doesn't matter. Step into what you know you are. This is my universe, and I do not agree, and I withdraw all agreements, and I withdraw all of the storylines that I've ever lived. I withdraw every experience associated with the frequency of this co-opting reality.
As do I. Well said. Yeah, so,
with that, I am sovereign. Key.
And I am George Leon. And thank you for listening, guys, and we look forward to bringing you more.